I never thought a simple neighborhood barbecue would change the course of my marriage. My name is Michael. I'm 38, and I've been married to Claire for 12 years. From the outside, we looked perfect. The stable couple in the quiet suburb with 2 kids and a life that checked all the boxes. But anyone who's been in a long marriage knows the truth. Perfection can hide a slow, quiet decay. That Saturday, the sun was bright, the grill was sizzling, and our backyard buzzed with neighbors laughing over small talk. Claire was there too, smiling politely, but something about her felt absent, detached. Her eyes kept drifting toward the fence, toward Sophie, our neighbor. The kind of woman whose confidence arrives before she does. She watched the gathering with a subtle curiosity that always felt intentional. First, I didn't think much of it. Claire had been zoning out at social events for years. But then, halfway through the afternoon, she looked at me and dropped the kind of sentence that doesn't just land, it cracks something open. Go on the honeymoon by yourself. I blinked, stunned. The world around me faded into static. What? You heard me, she said, brushing her hair back casually, as if she were telling me to grab more napkins. Go enjoy it. Don't wait for me. Her tone ended the conversation before it began. I felt something inside me loosen, not from shock but from recognition. A part of me already knew she had one foot out of the marriage long before she said it. I swallowed my questions, my anger, my urge to remind her of the plans we'd made. Instead, I sipped my beer and pretended to listen to my friends while my mind spun. That's when I noticed Sophie at the gate, watching with that same gentle alertness. Not prying, just present. For reasons I still can't explain, I walked toward her. I heard what she said, Sophie murmured, her voice low and knowing. I nodded. Yeah, I guess I'm on my own. She gave a small, understanding smile, the kind you don't forget. Sometimes being on your own is exactly what you need to figure out what matters. And strangely, that planted a seed. For weeks, Claire avoided every conversation about the honeymoon. Work, errands, the kids, anything to dodge the truth sitting silently between us. And in those weeks, I thought about Sophie more than I wanted to admit. Not romantically, not yet, but as someone who actually saw me. Someone who noticed the details my wife had stopped seeing long ago. Claire's emotional distance hadn't appeared suddenly. It had eroded us slowly, ignored jokes, brushed off touches, canceled plans. A drip of indifference that eventually hollowed us out. And on the morning of the honeymoon, as I zipped my bag, I realized something. Claire didn't care if I went. And I didn't care if she stayed behind. The flight was quiet, peaceful. I stared out the window at the clouds, and for the first time in months I didn't feel angry. I felt relieved, like someone had finally turned off the static. When I landed at the resort, the warm breeze hit me, carrying salt and possibility. I walked the beach alone, letting the weight I'd been carrying dissolve grain by grain. That evening at the beach bar, I saw something that made me stop in my tracks. Sophie. She waved casually, as if fate had penciled her in. Didn't expect to see me here, she teased. I didn't expect to be here without her, I admitted, half laughing at my own disbelief. We talked. And talked. Hours slipped by. She didn't push. She didn't pry. She just existed beside me with a kind of sincerity I hadn't felt in years. The next few days were easy. Walks on quiet beaches. Late dinners under the stars. Conversations that didn't feel like work. I wasn't falling in love. I was remembering myself. The version of me that deserved attention, respect, presence. The version Claire had stopped choosing. On the last night, Sophie came to say goodbye. I hope this trip gave you what you needed, she said softly. It did, I told her. More than I expected. She smiled. Then you're already ahead. The flight home felt different. I wasn't returning to a wife. Or a marriage. I was returning to the truth. A truth I finally had the courage to accept. When I unlocked the front door, the air felt heavy but not painful. Just honest. This wasn't my future anymore. It was a chapter one had finished reading long before I admitted it. I unpacked slowly, letting the silence settle around me. For the first time in years I felt light. Untethered. Alive. I had survived indifference. Survived rejection. And now, for the first time in a long time, I was ready to choose myself. Sophie hadn't replaced Claire. She had reminded me of something I had forgotten. Love should not be begged for. Attention should not be conditional. Connection shouldn't feel like a chore. And I decided finally I would never settle for less again.